A makeup artist on Instagram known as @paint.face. She turned a white woman into a black woman. Now everyone on social media is mad. Let's start with the photo and then I'll read you her disclaimer because she actually had a disclaimer.
Yes,
okay, so that's the photo. You think that the transformation looks like Alicia Keys.
Totally.
That's according to Jason. Now, underneath the photo, she had a whole disclaimer on Instagram. It's really long. I'm gonna highlight just a portion of it. She says here that this is a transformation that I've been holding back from releasing for a while now, solely because of the fear I've had of people turning it into a racial scandal against me. This is not about race change. This is about one woman acknowledging, embracing, and celebrating the beauty of another woman's culture. Then let me read, there's a number of tweets here. I'll highlight one because they all are pretty repetitive. Third Force, she says here, number one, it's blackface. Number two, black women are not fun costumes you can try on. Number three, the artist should have used a black model if they wanted to do this. Interesting.
You can't transform someone who's black into someone who's black. Just the definition of transformation.
True, and to her point, and I don't know where, I don't even feel like I should have an opinion on this, but to your point, Brett, she said here as a makeup artist that in her disclaimer that she was sick and tired of doing like these glam looks, and she wanted to challenge herself as a makeup artist to do something totally unconventional and different.
It is really hard to transform the legacy of blackface in America, especially with one Instagram post.
Yeah.
Well,
I get why people are offended.
I do too, and some of the tweets that were out there were like, "Bitch, if you had to give a disclaimer, you know it was wrong from jump," which was like, people really came for her. So, oh my God, okay.
Yes.
Visually, fantastic job. It was a beautiful picture. Artistically, yes. If she genuinely in her heart of hearts was just trying to challenge herself to move outside the glam, high, fake and bake, makeup stuff you see on Instagram all the time, then kudos for her. But per some of the tweets though, people felt like, why didn't you just get a light-skinned black woman or find another way to do this experiment, if you will. I don't know. Honestly, audience and you guys, I don't know if I was offended. I don't know if I really have to sit and think like, does she need to get that kind of backlash that she's getting on social media? I feel like a little bit of it, is unfair, but not in her defense. So she should have thought it through and thought, hey, if I'm gonna do this is what's gonna happen. Maybe I shouldn't put it out there. Maybe I should find another way to challenge myself. Maybe let me, I don't know, paint red on someone.
So,
I'm in two minds about it.
Because of the history.
Yeah, turn him into like an Asian person.
This kind of reminds me of the story that the three of us did last week about the burrito place and that sort of cultural appropriation. And I think we all agreed that we are not personally offended by this. I'm also not personally offended by this photo.
Yeah, but I think it's black though.
Right, like it wouldn't be my place. If I was offended, like that's not my place at all. But it's okay for us to critique it in a way that is, just to elevate the discussion a little bit more. Because what didn't really jive for me, and again, I'm kind of with you, Sam. Like this doesn't affect me. This isn't something for me to be offended about on other people's behalf. But what I will say is that her caption didn't really like rub me the right way. She's like, to celebrate like this culture. I'm like, but you're celebrating with a white woman. Like that doesn't really, so much of it doesn't really make sense for me. And I think that a lot of the tweets that were going on about this really hit the nail on the head, where it's like, just you kind of knew it was wrong. You issued this disclaimer from the jump. And I think that you knew that you weren't doing it delicately if you had to issue that disclaimer.
I would like to declare this area a safe space for conversation where we put forth ideas. And if they're coming from me, they will likely be stupid. But these are thoughts that I had. I thought that you take a beautiful white woman and turn her into a beautiful black woman. So now, if you're a person who's learning how to do makeup, she's only enjoying the benefits that a beautiful black person would enjoy. Not like a black, like a normal looking person, black person would enjoy. And when she's done with this though, when
all
she's
black
done,
people are beautiful, Brett.
Well, I'm just saying like the same way we talked about the seven dwarfs, the conventional idea of what a beautiful person looks like. But she could wipe it off. And that's one thing that like the legacy of blackface, like the idea that white people could be like, all right, I'm gonna co-opt black, culture for a second. And in those days, do it in a terrible way with shoe polish and bright red lipstick and make it terrible. Yeah, this is this is a better job as an artistic piece, but it still needs to acknowledge like the legacy of blackface in America, minstrelsy, and the ability of white culture to co-opt black culture for its own enjoyment and then move on.
I agree. I agree. I don't think she had a malicious intent. I don't think she maybe didn't think it through when she thought about maybe the historical context.
She thought it through, and she thought she was on good footing. She put it forward, and now she's learning where she might have gone wrong, and maybe she will learn. And I think that's what, and it is art.
Yeah,
it's not
it is
like
art,
a frat boy at a party going in blackface.
But we don't, I never want, I was reading some other tweets too where people are being, saying in response to the tweets of the people that were offended, you have no right to tell someone if it offends them or not, especially if you're a person of color and you're a white person. Like I would have no right to say, if that really did offend you, Jason, I would have no right to say, you have no right to be offended. The woman didn't mean to.
No, I agree. Yeah, you're right. That I think that's where things get a little hairy on social media, is because people have these strong opinions and they're activated, they're triggered, they're engaged, and they want. And if you disagree with their feeling on such a sensitive subject as this, then you're just as bad as the perpetrator. And yeah. I mean, being black, I know for a fact right now in the comments, people are gonna come for me because I'm not over here sitting in this chair saying, fuck yeah, bitch, you appropriated black culture and this and that. But it's like,
not fair either.
But it's not fair, Sam. But that's how it's gonna go. And
it is. You're right.
And that brings me back to another conversation about fucking social media. Excuse my language. That everyone has an opinion now. We're so quick to just attack. We're ready. We're lit, ready to go just to attack. And when I saw the picture, I thought, okay, it's a beautiful picture. And they do. I mean, they make white people into black people on movie sets for characters, for roles too. So
anymore?
Well, anymore. But I'm saying
Robert Downey Jr. did it. Tropic Thunder,
right.
like 5 years ago. It's pretty fucking recent.
But that, yeah.
And it was comedic, but still, like there's always a line, and people are going to say that there's an offensive.
I think
line.
that's the best it's ever been done.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because that character in the movie is ridiculous, and it gives us an ability to have that conversation.
And some people, there was outrage surrounding it. I agree with you, but there was outrage surrounding it.
I totally get it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like it's about being offended and people telling you how you should be offended and what you should be offended by is all subjective to the person. There's no wrong or right way to describe this. What's going on here? Either you're not offended or you are. But it's just.
But give people the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
We need to be more mindful. We're so quick to have our pitchforks out.
You're absolutely right.
But also we should learn and be mindful.
And just if you're going to enter into this conversation, whatever side you're coming from, open yourself up to the possibility that you could learn something from it.
Love that.
And I think a lot of people don't do that when they write their comments right off the bat without even looking at the photo for that long.
It's a great final thought. All right, so please keep the conversation going, and we'll see you next time on Popular.